Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter Mervin. Thank you for joining us. In the headlines, government's National Employment Program and the Trade and Employment Expo was launched on Monday. Dominica hosts the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs Conference and Dominica's fifth president passes on. Details of these and other stories right after the break.
If you can believe this,
come by my house and let me show you some movies.
why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. Unemployed, ambitious youth and the service providers were brought together on Monday with the simultaneous launching of government's National Employment Program and the Trade and Employment Exposition. The long-awaited 3-day event means a variety of job and training opportunities for enterprising youths and adults. A collaboration between the public and private sectors, the National Employment Program is launched at a time when the International Labour Organization is calling for states to do more to reduce youth unemployment.
Youth unemployment is a global problem which governments around the world grapple to address. While global youth unemployment has averaged over 12% over the last few years, in the Caribbean and Latin America, youth unemployment is as high as 25%. According to the CARICOM Commission on Youth Development report, more than a quarter of the unemployed is between the ages of 25 to 34 and includes graduates of secondary and tertiary education. For graduates, finding employment proves difficult due to lack of experience. Graduates complain that all vacancies outline 3 to 5 years experience as one of the main requirements for most jobs in line with their expertise or field of study. Studies on youth unemployment also reveal a serious mismatch between the education system and the world of work, and the knowledge, skills, and values and attitudes of young people in the workforce lag behind those required by the private sector. Academic qualifications are no longer a guarantee of good long-term employment, and job security is increasingly linked to employability rather than employment.
Minister responsible for employment, trade and industry, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre, referring to the National Employment Program, revealed that the initiative is multifaceted. One aspect is mentorship focused.
Today, I'm pleased to announce that 120 young people who, under the Employment and Small Business Unit, have completed apprenticeship programs in bartending, housekeeping, front desk operations, food and beverage services, culinary arts, and creative manicure and pedicure will gain attachments this week. Additionally, in the coming weeks, over 100 young people will receive placements in various private sector organizations for job training. The government of Dominica is grateful for the private sector's willingness to participate in the program. This program will be beneficial not just to the youth who will be employed, but to the small businesses which will benefit from the form of direct labor support. We urge you, our partners, to be not just an employer, but a mentor to the young people who will be placed on training in your organizations.
Another aspect of the program also being launched this week has to do with community employment. Honorable McIntyre explains.
The Community Employment Initiative will assist targeted communities throughout their villages, through their village councils or development groups in enhancing their communities through capacity building, skills development, and beautification projects. This initiative will create employment at the community level in villages across Dominica. 2 community tourism projects have already been approved in the community of Tatan and Kalibishi. The Tatan Development Committee will this month begin training on boat captain and crew men for a glass-bottom boat tour operation and 6 tour guides for the Waiti-Kubuli National Trail, which passes through the area. We are also partnering with the Ministry of Tourism and the Kalishi community to train and employ tour guides and security guides for the beaches and sites in the Northeast. As part of this initiative, administrative staff will also be provided at the Kalibishi Information Center. These 2 projects will provide employment for over 20 young persons.
A featured speaker, Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, wants Dominicans to know that while the National Employment Program and the Expo are financially difficult, they are also absolutely necessary at this time.
I wish to make it clear from the outset that from a purely economic perspective, the government of Dominica can least afford this initiative. We are motivated solely by fiscal considerations and the need to do right by economic advisors at home and abroad, I could think of dozens of arguably more pressing and perhaps equally deserving causes to which this well over $7 million could have been allocated. Indeed, the purists among us would argue that the money is not being put in a productive use. But I humbly beg to differ with that view. As Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, I recognize the need not only to balance spreadsheets and arithmetical projections, but also to keep the hopes and ambitions of our young people alive and fertile. I firmly believe that for development to be meaningful, it must first be balanced.
Government has arranged to cover the cost of employment for the hundreds of interns being placed at organizations for 1 year. Over 400 places has been secured for interns and over 50 businesses are represented at the expo. Until Wednesday, patrons can look forward to a variety of engaging mini events at the National Stadium.
Several workshops will be held daily to provide information on professional development, customer service, which we all need, and workplace etiquette to job seekers. There will be exciting promotions and giveaways from the business community, light entertainment, and we expect the National Stadium to be buzzing with activity.
GIS News will bring you more in Tuesday's newscast. Former President of Dominica, Vernon Shaw, has passed away. Shaw, the island's 5th head of state, passed away early Monday morning at the Princess Margaret Hospital at the age of 83. Shaw held several positions in government departments, including Treasury and Customs, Post Office, Central Housing and Planning, Audit, and in the Ministry of Trade and Production. Shaw was a member of the team of the first permanent secretaries, serving initially in the Ministry of Education and Health and later External Affairs, before becoming Chief Establishment Officer in 1971. In 1977, he was appointed Secretary to the Cabinet and was reconfirmed in that position on independence on 3rd November 1978, as well as being made Ambassador at Large and Inspector of Missions. He retired from the public service in June 1990. He was sworn in as the 5th President of the Commonwealth of Dominica on October 2nd, 1998. His national awards include the Cicero Award of Honor conferred in 1990 and the Dominica Award of Honor in 2001. He was married to Eudora Shaw and they have 4 children. The 12th Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs Conference is expected to unfold this week from Monday, December 2nd to Friday, December 6th. The 2014 edition of this conference will be at the Windsor Park Stadium Conference Facility. The conference will bring together chief fire officers from within the length and breadth of the Caribbean as they continue to discuss ways of improving the firefighters' abilities to respond to and protect communities. The conference was officially opened with a ceremony on Monday. Dominica's Chief Fire Officer Josiah Dupuy welcomed the contingents from various islands to Dominica. He spoke of Dominica's strides in providing emergency response service over the years.
Our organization has developed over the years. And in 1978, the fire service, as it was known then, was assigned the responsibility of providing ambulance coverage to the entire country. Today, well, as a result, actually, new skills had to be taught to fire officers. Initially, we did principally firefighting duties, and with the advent of an ambulance service, our skills had to be sharpened. We had to learn new skills such as first aid, CPR, and basically emergency care. Today, I can report that in excess of 90% of all of our emergencies responded to involves the ambulance. Such is the change which has taken place in our fire service.
Honorable Alvin Bernard, Acting Minister for National Security, was in attendance at the opening ceremony. He spoke of government's ongoing commitment to improve the fire and ambulance service in Dominica.
The government which I represent has given unprecedented attention to the revision of existing and enactment of new legislation, investment in equipment, human resource development, and infrastructure. The fire department is no exception in that regard. The total contingent of men and women was increased from 83 only a few years ago to a current total of 117. Significant investments have been made and continues to be made in equipment, while our new $4 million Mervin Hall Fire Station stands as one of our flagship projects.
As part of the week's activities, CAFC will also be presenting the Junior Officers Leadership Academy Training Program. 20 fire officers from Dominica and a number of other officers from throughout the Caribbean will participate in the week-long training.
JOLA is alive and well. It's a program that the fire chiefs believes that would help bring new leadership, vigorous leadership to the Caribbean fire services down the road. We want the junior fire officers to have the knowledge and skills to be successful in supervision, management, administrative and executive positions as they rise through the ranks of the fire services across the Caribbean.
The highlight of the JOLA will be a fire challenge which will be staged on Thursday. Visiting chiefs were also treated to a taste of Dominica's culture during that ceremony.
I don't care who you are, minister, doctor, or lawyer, he's the one we must respect and not like him. A murderer, greed, and envy, so many to leave without me.
The Wasco's customers who have been disconnected can now benefit from an amnesty on reconnection fees. This is part of the company's end-of-year customer outreach program. The Wasco's Public Relations Officer Edward Regis told GIS News that during the month of December, all the Wasco customers who are presently disconnected for non-payment of bills can have their service reconnected without the payment of a reconnection fee.
The Wasco is offering its customers an opportunity to reconnect to the service. Those customers of ours who have been disconnected for whatever reason, for non-payment of bills, we're offering these customers an opportunity during the course of the month of December to reconnect to the service without having to pay a reconnection fee. And that will be, a major savings for anybody who wants to reconnect to the service.
Regis says in addition, the Wasco will also offer disconnected customers a 15% discount on outstanding balances owed to the company. He says potential customers who wish to have new connections will also receive a 50% discount on the connection fees.
For potentially new customers who want to have a new connection, during the month of December, we're also offering them 50% on the cost of connection, and that also is a major reduction in whatever they would have had to pay. So these two opportunities are being made available to our customers.
Regis says valued customers who pay their bills on time every month will be appreciated in January.
We've gotten the question since we began this promotion as to what will happen for our valued customers who've never been disconnected, who keep paying their bills. We want them to keep faith that during the course of 2014 that we will also offer something to our valued customers who continue to pay their bills year in, year out.
The Public Relations Officer says DOASCO is happy to be able to offer these opportunities to its customers and potential customers in an effort to assist our society in these challenging economic times. Chances, a home in Dominica charged with the responsibility to care for abandoned children in need of special care and protection, was presented with $5,000 last Friday. The money was presented by an official of the Chinese embassy to assist the home with its expenses.
On behalf of the Chinese ambassador, Mr. Wang, and also all the staff members of the Chinese embassy here in Dominica, I'm very pleased and honored to accept the invitation of the managing director of the Chances to visit these Chances today. My previous counselor of the embassy and also Chinese ambassador visited Chances before. Yes. And they were very much impressed by the not the institution, the home, but the home for the children, the Chances. And we regard highly the importance of you for taking care of the children and bring them up as a well healthy and also in the future constructive person in the future for the nation.
Manager of the home, Eva Roach, is grateful for that donation. She has pledged the home's continued commitment to care for the vulnerable children in a special environment away from home.
It's a home where they go to school like any other, like in a home setting. They go to school, they belong to service clubs, they belong to youth groups. If they're sick, they go to the health center, whatever, that sort of thing. So it's a home away from home. While there are chances, the best care we hope to give children are chances, yes. That they feel comfortable, and wherever they have their little challenges or the family, we try as much as possible, the best that we can to work with the families to make the child whole again and to do their best. Yeah.
And that's the English segment of news. Before we leave, here's one announcement. Irish potato farmers of Girardale and Eggleston are informed of a very important meeting at the Girardale Community Center on Wednesday, December 4 at 4 p.m. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss the establishment of Irish potatoes and to introduce farmers to possible sources of funding. Officials of the Division of Agriculture, the NDFD, and the St. Mary's Cooperative Credit Union Limited will also address the meeting. Coming up next, your tip of the day.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans, and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Got a late night sugar craving that just won't quit? To satisfy your sweet tooth without pushing yourself over the calorie edge, even in the late night hours, think fruit first. So resist that chocolate cake and instead enjoy a sliced apple that is slip sweet, knowing you're still on the right healthy track. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Mervin. Thank you for watching.